us break it down. Daniel Geltrude is joining me now, the author of Positive Financial Karma. Dan, how is someone's credit score determined?
Well, let's back up for 1 second and say, well, what is a credit score about? It's about your credit worthiness, right? So it comes down to your likelihood of paying bills. Now, the reason that's so important is anytime you're going to do something as it pertains to borrowing money on credit in any way, shape, or form, those companies are going to look at your credit score. And that credit score can range between 300 to 850. The higher, the better. And the source of those scores comes down to basically 3 different credit agencies. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So you want to make sure that you're always paying your bills on time so that you're building up a track record where anyone who may want to take a risk with lending you money, they know they're going to get paid back on a timely basis.
So Dan, let's talk about that. You gave the range there. If someone has a credit score of 500, 700, the best to 850, how exactly is that determined, that range there and where they would fall?
Right. So where that comes from is based upon your prior payment history. How have you done in the past related to paying all your bills? Another factor in there, Kristen, is your credit utilization. And what that means is let's say you have a total availability of $20,000 of credit. How much of that credit have you used or is outstanding? If it's all $20,000, that's something that would lower your credit score. How about the length of your credit history? So the longer your credit history, good credit history, the higher your credit score will be. The other impact, too, is what's the mix of that credit score in terms of, is it all credit cards? Is it mortgages? So the more varied the mix and the better you are at paying your bills, the higher your score will be. On the other side, the more credit inquiries that you have, those are the things that actually lower your score because it indicates that you're out there looking for, let's say, more loans, more credit cards. Not exactly a positive thing. And then, of course, the ultimate negative related to your credit score is that if you have a bad payment history or repayment history, or throw a bankruptcy in there, that'll really do some significant damage in lowering your credit score.
Well, let's talk about how someone can boost their score, Dan. Obviously, paying off their debt on time is important, but if they want to get it higher, what are actionable steps to improve that score?
Well, you know, there are companies out there that will work with you to improve your credit score. And what they do is they help you accelerate we'll call it the cleanup process. But if you don't go down that path of actually having someone to assist you, what you want to make sure that you do is that you make your payments on time all the time, that you're reducing the amount of debt, specifically credit cards. Why? Because credit card interest rates are so high. So they want you to clean that up. And of course, you should really avoid any type of unnecessary credit accounts. You don't need to continually open up new credit cards. If you have one, that's enough. Don't continue to do that. Those things will help you improve your credit score.
Let's say someone doesn't have a credit card yet. What would you recommend to them to get started building their credit score in a positive way?
So what you need to do is you actually need to borrow money in some way, something that can be reportable. And most people get that started when they're younger with a credit card. So they'll charge some things and then they immediately pay it when it's due. This way they start to establish a positive credit history. So that's really the first step. It sounds crazy, but you gotta have debt to prove that you can pay the debt. Although, if you could avoid debt, that's best of all, right?
Yes, very helpful tips, Dan, especially for anyone considering opening a credit card out there. Our thanks to Dan Geltrude for that advice. Well, up next.